The front cross is one of the two primary ways that we change sides with our dog. We can front cross on any obstacle, like weaves, contacts, and tunnels. But today we'll be talking about teaching front cross at a jump. Before you begin, do some groundwork to remind your dog the skill you're going to be working on. Move in a circle with your dog. When you turn into your dog, you are making a front cross. Practice on both sides. When your dog moves easily with you on both sides, you're ready to start it at a jump. When we're doing front crosses with the dog, it's not actually the dog that we cross in front of. It's the dog's intended path. I'll show you with the rope on the ground. This is the path that the dog's going to be traveling. As I travel with the dog, I step over his eventual path, and now my dog is on the opposite side. You are always turning towards your dog, and your dog is turning into you as well on this change of sides. When I turn into my dog, I'd like the dog to stay inside of the line that my body makes when I turn my shoulders and feet onto a new path. This is the basic concept that I want to teach the dog, and one that as a handler I need to identify in order to choose the correct path to an obstacle with my own body. While you're working on front cross skills, make sure you keep the handling basics in mind. Use the hand which is closest to the dog to direct them to the obstacle. Second, keep your shoulders and your feet moving in the direction parallel to the dog's path which you wish them to take. In this case, we're going to be turning with the dog. Thirdly, make sure you always keep your eye on the dog. Okay. Good girl. We start with just one jump on this simple front cross. Put the dog in front of the jump on a stay and stand parallel to the dog with your shoulders pointed the same direction as the dog is facing. Okay. Remember, the front cross is a change of sides. The dog is starting on my left side, so I'll use my left hand, and will end up on my right side, so the reward will come when the dog is on my right side. Start with the bar on the ground. Release the dog to jump and begin turning into your dog. You would like the dog to wrap around the standard or wing of the jump. As the dog wraps around the wing, mark the behavior with your clicker or a verbal cue and reward the dog. Good girl. I only want to reward the turns that are tight. This is an example of how you do not want to do front cross. Do not move laterally, meaning sideways, away from your dog, or they will make wide turns. You are in charge of the width of the turn. Even if your dog jumps long, you can still get them to turn tight to return to your side. I want to teach the dog to come inside of my path and to not swing around behind me. I'm going to reward the dog often at my side. If your dog continues to swing behind you, you'll need to stay at this stage of the training until your dog understands not to swing wide, but to turn tight to your side. Very good. On a 90-degree front cross, my path is slightly different, and I am only making a 90-degree turn relative to the dog. Stand just beyond the jump and a couple feet lateral, meaning sideways, of your dog. Turn into the dog as they are jumping and reward the dog for coming inside of your line until the dog understands that you want him to turn before he reaches your side. Once the dog will tuck into your side on this right angle turn, you can add a second jump. Move the jump at a 90-degree angle to the first jump in a T setup. Stand close to the number 2 jump. You may cue your turn to number 2 as the dog is jumping number 1. On front cross, you are moving towards the next obstacle, not away from it. I use the hand and the leg closest to the dog to step away from the prior obstacle and forward to the next one. Reward your dog after each cross for turning tightly to the next jump. You may toss the toy to the dog or reward with a click and a treat. You may also target the dog beyond number 2 to get the dog to turn tightly inside of you.
Yes, very nice.
Figures of 8 are an important part of my jumping compulsory exercises. This is a figure 8 front cross on one jump. As soon as you're happy with the simple and the 90-degree crosses, you can use the one jump to repeat the front cross skill. Ask your dog to jump, turn into the dog on the front cross, and then repeat. In the beginning, reward your dog each time he comes to your side. Now you can add a second jump to the figure 8. The work you did on circles will help you with this figure. We'll do a simple change of sides between the jumps. I'm calling it a simple change of sides because I'm asking the dog to come directly to my side before proceeding to the next jump. In the beginning, you should reward the dog at each simple side change. Release the dog from your side with a direction such as go on or your jump command to send the dog away from you. Now we're ready for a continuous figure 8 with a front cross in the center. Randomly stop the dog at your leg and reward for a tight front cross.
Good